Okay, folks, thanks to those of you who are hanging in there. This is part two of our call in which we're going to dig right into compensation plan and other aspects of our particular program and how we can help you succeed. Now, this slide that we are looking at is the most important one of the entire presentation. But I want to say something about it at the outset. Very few people who see this the very first time understand the entire scope of it. But what I can tell you is it involves duplication, it involves leverage, and it involves a compensation plan that pretty much is unparalleled and unequaled for many reasons that I will explain that you will learn in the future. When the light bulb finally goes on and you get this page, your feet are going to stop touching the floor. I can pretty much assure you of that. So here's how Infinity 100 works. I want you to imagine at the beginning of my explanation that the recruiter in this example is me. Okay, so let's just use me as an example. Makes sense since I'm the host of the call. And I am going to utilize my resources to find you. Now, some of you who are listening to this are my guests, or you're guests of Lynn or Bud or Gabriel or Picasso or Rick or one of the members of our team. But let's use me as an example, and I am finding you. When I recruit you, the way that you become involved in our program is that you are going to pay me, in addition to the other things that you're doing to get started, $100. That's the only financial commitment. So the $100, as you see, is color-coded in blue and it goes to me. Now, I am going to help you with my resources, my training, my experience, my expertise, and I'm going to help you duplicate what I do every day. You are then going to go employ the system and you are going to make your first 4 sales. So we're going to say in this example that you found Jim, Janet, Jerry, and Jill. Now Jim, as you can see, is your very first sale. He's going to pay you the same $100 that you paid me, and you are now, as you're going to see in a minute, at break even in your business, okay? Janet, however, is going to be what we refer to in the industry as a pass-up sale, and you're going to do 2 of those in your qualification process. When Janet comes on board, remember, you found Janet, I didn't. Janet is going to pay me the $100 just like you did, so I am the beneficiary of your efforts. Jerry comes on board as your 3rd sale and he pays you, and now you're in profit. And then your 4th sale in your qualification process is Jill. Jill is also a pass-up and she pays me the $100. Now here's the most important thing to understand here. You are now fully qualified in our business. You can now make more money than I make if you are capable, because this is not a pyramid scheme. You are going to continue to pay me the $100, but you don't owe me any more recruits, and every sale from your 5th sale on belongs to you, but it's the power of duplication that's even better than that, so please follow along with the rest of the explanation. Now remember that when you found Janet, Janet was passed up to me. I now get to work with Janet the same way that I worked with you. So again, my resources, my expertise, all of my direction and training are going to be directed at Janet to help her succeed. Janet is then going to go make her first 4 sales, and remember, she's doing it on her behalf and mine, not yours, because you passed her to me. Janet finds Howard, Hilda, Harry, and Harriet. Howard pays Janet. Hilda pays me. Harry pays Janet, and now Janet is in profit. Harriet pays me. And at the very same time, because we also got Jill in this process, let's not forget, you found Jill. Jill is now on my team, and Jill is going to go get Mary, Michael, Maury, and Michelle with my help. Mary goes to Jill, Michael goes to me, Maury goes to Jill, and now Jill is in profit, and Michelle goes to me. Now, one of the things that you may not be understanding the impact of here is not only did I get Janet and Jill from your efforts in addition to my own efforts to find you, I also get Hilda and Harriet and Michael and Michelle, and the process continues, and every single person is going to pass up 2 sales to me. Just as once you're qualified, that stream of income that flows from Jim and Jerry, that's going to mean 2 pass-ups to you from every single person. So before I leave this page, please now replace recruiter Gary here with you at the top, because you get to do everything that I'm doing. This option and this privilege doesn't just belong to me, and that's the whole point. Now, a couple of critical questions which have obvious answers, but I want you to see the hints right here. The first question that we're going to ask on the next page is, how many people did I actually recruit here? And I think you know the answer to that. The second question is, how many $100 payments do you see on this page that went to me? And you can count them by simply counting the blue ones, right? So let's answer those questions. How many people did I actually sell? I made one sale in this scenario. But by working with you and Janet and Jill, how many $100 payments did I earn? 7. And remember, then I can work with Hilda and Harriet and the rest. But if we stop right here, that's 7 $100 payments that went to me. Now, it doesn't stop there, in case you're already thinking this is pretty darn good, because it doesn't stop at $700, because that's only what happens in the first month. The question is, how many months will those $700 payments continue to be received? 3 months? Then it's worth $2,100. 6 months? Then it's worth $4,200. 12 months? Then it's worth $8,400 if a customer simply stays on the books for a year, and most of our customers stay in the books because we teach people how to duplicate. So what if it's more than a year? Then what kind of money am I making? So how many of you, just ask yourselves, how many of you make $4,000 to $8,000 on a single sale, either on your current or your last sales job? How many times would you like to do this? How many can you hire? Now remember, this was all based on me hiring one. I can prove to you that I am currently on a pace where I am hiring 4 to 5 people every week. And our team leader, JB, this is the only time we get pie in the sky in these calls. Our team leader, JB, $36,000 a month. And actually, guess what? It's now up to pretty much close to 40. We have to change his name all the time. He used to be the $36,000 man. Now he's the $40,000 man. So again, pie in the sky, maybe it sounds that way, but he's actually doing that, ladies and gentlemen, and he will document it for you in a heartbeat in his own marketing system, which we will share with you. Now, some of you, in spite of that exciting information that I just gave you, which just blows my mind again every time I see it, some of you are going to leave this call and not get involved with us. You're going to go get another JOB. You will once again be a slave to an employer and make them rich instead of yourself. You will temporarily get that fix of catching up on unpaid bills. Maybe even have a few good weeks, and maybe you'll take your family to McDonald's. Inevitably, however, that job's going to end too. How long will it be before you find the next job? How much just over broke will you be by then? How long will that job last? And here's where I hit everybody between the eyes, guys, because I want you to read this question, because this is real. This is the state of affairs in America and around the world. From this day forward, it's never going to change. Are you going to end up working until you drop dead? That's the question of the day, because those are the alternatives. So maybe you join us instead. Or maybe at the very least you join us in addition to getting that next JOB. And by the way, some of you on this call may be thinking about your next JOB or keeping the one that you have while you work with us, so that the one that you have or the one that you're seeking is going to be the last JOB you ever have. And I encourage you to think those kinds of thoughts, because every person that I bring on my team who never has to get another job, I tell you, I am going to sleep at night with a big smile on my face over what I did to help that person. Now let's talk just for a moment about $100, because people get hung up on this, okay, and they shouldn't. But the moment most people who look at my due diligence package, they hear me say $100 on the audio overview call, they're hanging up. I know they're hanging up. Well, what are they thinking? Well, maybe they're thinking, just another scam. Maybe they're thinking, just another multi-level marketing scheme. Maybe they're thinking, oh, this must be one of those pyramids, which we'll talk about in a minute. Or, he's probably just after my $100. That's all he cares about. Now, did these people even give themselves a chance? No. And you know why? Because they'd much rather be just over broke. So here I want to remind you again, we have leads, we have systems in place, and we are nothing but overpaid tour guides. We have nice conversations with people who have asked us to call them, and we simply hand out information. So first off, I again congratulate all of you who are still here. It says a lot about you. Just for the record, however, let's deal with a few of those issues. Just another scam. Parent company in business, 15 years, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, flourishing with 0 complaints. I think not. Just another multi-level marketing scheme. Well, multi-level marketing implies multiple levels, right? And so understand that once you have your 4 sales, you are fully qualified. You don't owe me another recruit. You break away from me. You can operate your own business. You can become a leader and do these calls just like I'm doing if you want. Is that multi-level marketing? Again, I think not. Just another pyramid. Here's my favorite one. Now remember that JB is my recruiter and I referred to him. Where was he in my explanation of the compensation? The answer is long gone because I'm qualified. I pay him his $100 every month, but I owe him nothing else. You have no financial relationship to him whatsoever. So where's the pyramid there? And you know what? This is my favorite slide in the presentation, and I want you to think about this very carefully. Please think about your last or your next job. If you worked for a company of any decent size, here's the structure of that company, and I defy you to tell me that it's any different. There's a board of directors. There's a president. There's any number of vice presidents. There's any number of regional vice presidents. There's any number of local district managers and then local managers who work the local teams. And then guess what? There's all of us. And do you see little old you in there? And what have you been doing all your life but slaving and sweating and working your tail off to make the people at the top rich? But at the top of what? Take a look at the shape that I've outlined here. If I'm standing in Egypt and I see this shape, I think I'm looking at a pyramid. So, maybe every single company you have ever worked for, and this is a fact, not an opinion, so I'll say it again. Every single company you've ever worked for is a pyramid scheme. And the question becomes, what's wrong with this picture? Well, there isn't anything illegal about it. But what's wrong with it is little old you down here slaving to make the people at the top rich. Isn't that what you've heard about, pyramid schemes? Well, that's what you've participated in all your life. I just hope you're lucky enough to have been at the top of a couple of them. But it's not ethical, and it's really not moral, and it's not the way the world really should work. We should get paid far more for our efforts. Most importantly, we should get paid over and over again for something that we do one time. So bottom line, if you're struggling to come up with $100 to get into this program, what does that say about that business structure we just looked at? What does that say about that board of directors and that president? What does that say about the current financial state of affairs in America? And what does that tell you about what your next move needs to be? Because not having the $100 is not a statement about you. It is not your fault. It is a statement about where you have been, not where you are going, unless you hang up and get another job. So you know the expression beg, borrow, or steal. I have never ever in my life advocated stealing. But you know what? I do advocate begging or borrowing that $100 because many people have done that and gone on to great financial success. So don't steal it, but get it. Get the $100. It's not that big a deal. Get started with Infinity 100 and do your part to fix this problem. Enroll in the program. Share my overview call with everyone you know who's in this position and say, I just want to get your opinion about this. Listen to this 12-minute call and just tell me what you think. So try helping people and see how much helping other people helps you. Now, strategies we can all employ to be successful. Well, you know what? You can just go talk to enough people to find one. And as I pointed out before when we were talking about compensation, where have you ever heard of a business where you can make one sale and break even on your financial investment? I don't know of another example. And this is the only one I could ever find. And this is one of the things that really drove me here, is that people can be successful because they can break even on their very first sale. And what if you talk to enough people to find your four? The four qualifying sales that graduate you into serious profit in this program. Well, just the first four put you into profit. So be an example, because this means others will do what you do. And the power of four is what makes the engine run. So simply help your people duplicate. I can't do everything, but I am here to help each and every one of you on this call, and I need leaders who will help me in addition to the ones that we already have. But I am going to exert blood, sweat, and tears on your behalf, okay? Strategies additionally that we can all employ to be successful. Leads, I won't get into it too much here, but you know, you've been working leads all your life. You've busted your tail working for your manager and the board of directors and president of every company you've ever worked for. How about if we generate leads here together as a team, and you simply work the leads, but here you're doing them for yourself. You're working for yourself. Why wouldn't you work harder than ever for yourself than any boss you've ever had? Now, for the people who want to go big, we have something that I've labeled, and some of you know about it already, the TELL revolution. TELL for telephone, or TELL for tell, whichever way you want to write it. Use Craigslist and other places where people look for jobs. And by doing that, we can try to locate every person who's ever telemarketed for a living and show them a better way. How about voice broadcasting? You could contact 10,000 people in 1 hour who are either business people or people who've purchased some kind of home business opportunity before. JB has an incredible program for all of us, a complete business in a box that he has developed with what we term a sales funnel with landing pages. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Video presentations, co-op programs, pay-per-click, you name it. He's got it there for you. Plug right in. Are we going to help you? You bet we're going to help you. I am here morning till evening most every day of the week. I will do these calls. They will be a regular event, the live calls, in addition to redoing these pre-recorded calls like the one I'm doing right now. JB's team does regular webinar events. Call us with a prospect on the line and we will help you close your sales. We know how to do it. Training calls at times to be determined where we can review strategies that work. Training, oh my gosh, we have a lead source that has the most unbelievable training for talking to people on the phone that you have ever heard. This company's training is absolutely top-notch, class act all the way. Click on the white arrow and listen. Click on all these links and listen for hours on how to be the best telephone person you've ever been, because that's really how we make our money. So here's how to get started. You email the person who invited you with the subject line, "Want to get started." And it's okay to say, "I want to get started, but I have a few questions." That's no problem. That person will be happy to answer those for you. And then, of course, we will show you the entire system for how to get started, line by line by line. We will explain each step in the process. Even for some of you who aren't the most computer literate, this is an easy process if you simply follow our instructions. Couple of final comments. The leader of our team, JB, he makes more than $36,000 a month after just a couple of years. And guess what? If he heads to a tropical island next month, if he becomes sick or injured in an accident and cannot work, he still gets his $36,000 next month, and the month after that, and the month after that, and so on. So please ask yourself, if you become sick or get injured in an accident, where's your income going to come from? How will you continue to feed your family? How will you pay the rent or the mortgage? How many of you already have the proverbial too much month left at the end of the money? There's only one solution to this constant problem that plagues almost all of us. And again, one last time, it's ongoing, repeating, residual income. It's not trading time for money, it's leveraging your time so that you get paid again and again each month for something that you did only once. So try to gain perspective instead of doubting. This is truly the first day of the rest of your life. Nothing that has happened to you before or kept you from succeeding matters at this moment. And you know what? Infinity 100 has a higher percentage of successful distributors than any other business model because the power of four system works. You break even on one sale and you get into profit on four sales. There is no other business model where that happens. So once again, and I'll say this before I say goodbye, get back to the person who shared this presentation with you. He or she is part of one of the most powerful teams with Infinity 100 and the group with the most team spirit. We succeed as a team. We cannot succeed without you. We are nothing without you. So join our team, be part of a team, and I believe you will truly enjoy your experience with Infinity 100. Now, in lieu of questions, as I said at the beginning, I want all of you to get your questions answered by the person who shared the presentation with you or directed you here. Okay, so we'll have those questions answered individually, or if you want to hear a question and answer, please just come to one of our live calls on a Wednesday or a Saturday. Now I think the person who shared this information with you is waiting to hear from you, or will be contacting you shortly. Do something about it, folks. Change your life once and for all. I appreciate you being here. Over and out, and thanks so much for your time.